Morning, Russell here, dog walking author. Augie's with me today, and is Luna. Today's topic is reviews. Before I get started on reviews, I thought I'd discuss what is the point of leaving a review. Now, my take on leaving reviews, and the way I've always followed it, is a review is like an unspoken covenant, like a secret pact amongst all consumers where we buy a product or service and then we determine how well that product or service satisfied us. Then we leave our thoughts for our fellow consumers to read so that they can get an idea of whether, what we liked or didn't like about this product or service. So in hopes to help guide them whether they want to spend their money. I mean, after all, we've already paid for the product or service. So us leaving a review doesn't really help us for that particular product, but it may help someone else. It may inform their decision on whether they should spend their money. So in that vein, I've always looked at leaving reviews as an honest endeavor. I want to try and be as honest and truthful as I can so my fellow consumers and possibly the author or the product manufacturer or the restaurant can see what I thought was the positives and negatives about the product or service. So let's talk about books and how does that apply. For me, as long as you leave a review that's honest, fair, consistent, devoid of personal attacks, and leaves concrete or examples of what you like or you didn't like, you're being fair to both the author and your fellow readers. That's the way I look at it. Now, I know in the author community, there's always kind of a fear that, you don't want to be looked at as being mean or tearing down a fellow author. But hey, in that context, you're a reader. You're reading the book. You're just providing your honest feedback. And as long as you follow the points I outlined and you're not engaging in personal attacks, you're not being judgmental of the person or the author, and you're giving your honest, consistent takes with examples from the book, you're not being mean. If they think you're being mean, that's more an issue for them, not for you. So, that's how I approach leaving a review and how I think most everyone should leave a review. Because here's the thing, if you leave an honest review that is factual as far as you know it, and fair and concise, doesn't attack the author, you not only will be providing a potential benefit to that author as well as readers. So let me give you an example. From my book, Relentless Blades, there are several reviews I've received where people have commented that there's a lot of action, which there is, but maybe almost too much. Like they've had some readers have thought, the action is great, but after a while it's kind of like, another battle. And for them, that's a negative. Hey, you know what? That's fair. So what I think as an author is I read that and I think, well, if there's one person who felt that way, there are probably others. So as I approach my sequels, I have to think in terms of when I'm writing action scenes, I maybe want to think about how many am I including? Are they placed properly? Are they paced well? Do they have an emotional impact? Should I maybe tweak some things? Now, here's the other thing though. Any review that includes some negative feedback, such as that, maybe for some of those readers, I have too many battle scenes, so they're too in-depth. For every reader who feels that way, there is another reader who reads that review and goes, damn, there's that much fighting? Bring it on. I'm all about the combat. You can't have too much good fight scenes. So it may actually entice another reader to buy the book because of that fact. So don't be scared or feel like because you point out something that didn't work for you, that's some attack. It's not. It's just how you felt about it. And someone else may feel exactly the opposite, and that may be great for the author. Not only are they getting feedback, but readers are also getting feedback that will help them make the determination. So never feel bad about that. Now, I'm not going to speak for all authors, but I'll tell you that I'd much rather get a 3-star review that goes in depth with the things the person liked even if it includes things they didn't like, than a 5-star review that just says, the book's great. Like, what does that really do? Now, for the moment, like I'm talking a minute, makes me feel happy. Hey, I'm glad someone liked the book, but it doesn't help me in my craft as an author. And that review doesn't really help another reader just to say the book's great. Meanwhile, one of my favorite reviews is a 3-star review where the reader goes in depth of the things they like and a few nitpicks they didn't, which I'm fine with that. That gave me great feedback and it gives the reader great feedback. So, end of the day, that's my take on reviewing. Be fair, be consistent, provide examples, no personal attacks, and you should be good to go. But I'm definitely curious how you understand reviewing or how you approach it. Anyway, everyone, take care. Have a great day. Hey, your Doc Walking Authors back with a couple points that I wanted to add on to this video. One is to caution my fellow authors, don't engage with reviewers, please. It's okay, I guess, if you want to respond to a nice review and just, thank you for reviewing it or something like that. That's okay. But negative reviews, don't attack the reviewer. That just makes you look petty and bad. Remember, this is their take. They spent their money. They're entitled to their opinion. Leave them alone. The other point is review bombing. That's just lame. Again, I'm all for leaving an honest review of what you thought of a product, but don't go out of your way to leave a negative review specifically on a product or service you didn't even read or purchase or anything. That's just lame. Don't do that. Anyway, wanted to add those 2 points. Have a great one.